Okay, so what I want to get across in this video, I don't want to make a giant video. I want to make them more digestible in smaller sections. So this one right now we'll just go over the two indicators that we've added: the strength index, the RSI, relative strength index, and the stochastic RSI, which is the direction of the move. I put these two boxes here as illustrations for my example, but you can keep them there as like a visual reminder. Red and green. It's okay to have the bias there because that signifies danger and, you know, I guess bullish zones for the green box, if you will. It's okay to have the bias there because that's there to protect you. It's okay to have that bias there and only there. Okay, so how to read these two indicators along with price action. I've created a checklist. I'll get to point 3 and 4. We're not there yet, and this I will save for another video, but I want to keep using it on FET just for an example because I found that it really is obvious with these examples. So the idea when it comes to indicators is not just to use one. You need multiple confluences, which means to have multiple, I guess, indicators and price action showing you the same story. They all have to say the same thing. They all have to agree. You can't have one while the others disagree. It's really important to understand that. You can't just have your own, and you can't. The danger with that is like, oh, I really want it to go up, but this is up and the rest say down. I'm just going to do it. That's FOMO. That's ignoring what these tools tell you. And the whole point of using these tools is to have all of them agree. You can't just have one. You need to have at least 3 out of the 4 in my 4-step checklist to actually make it worthwhile. So for an investor, your time frame and your time horizon is years, or let's say a couple of months. And for that, you're going to be trading Bitcoin, the big dogs. You're going to trade something that you're going to hold, something of that's not a fucking shit coin. Like, you're not going to invest in meme coins. You're going to, I hope you're not. You're not going to do that because those won't be around. Those won't be relevant. Those won't be alive still in a couple of years. You know, something like Solana, something like ETH, poor ETH, something like XRP, just kidding, something like Bitcoin. Those are the coins, those are the type of ones that you want to use the investment strategy that I'm going to show you on. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the two indicators and the price action. I don't want to show trends yet, but I want to. This is going to be difficult to show one without the other, but I just want to make these videos digestible. So I will show everything with these indicators first, and then the later videos will also show other things to use the indicators with to apply this 4-step checklist, investor method. They will all eventually tie in together. In the last video, I will show all these things put together, and it might be a little longer, but with that video, it will also help you go back to the other ones that are more digestible to be like, oh, what is he talking about? He's talking about the RSI again. What is the RSI and how does it work? So you can go back to those smaller videos, which this one will be. And by smaller, I mean that hopefully it won't be too long. Like, I'll try and make this like 10-20 minutes at most. Okay, enough ranting. So what is part of the checklist when it comes to the two indicators is the RSI crossing over the median. What does that mean? The median is this yellow line. Anything when this purple line is above that, that's bullish. But you also have to keep in mind that there is a median, the 50 line, which is the middle. You want price action to be above that, or the RSI to be above that for it to be a strong move. Anywhere below, that means it's telling you to start paying attention. Same with this. Same with the direction the direction indicator, which is a stochastic RSI. You're gonna want to only look at investment coins when the weekly stochastic RSI is in this zone, this green zone, which is below the 20. That's the only time you want to look at it. For example, look at this here. We're below the 20, and that's when you want to start buying, DCAing, because we're flatlined right here. But when did this move come in? How do we know that that move is going to happen? We look at this cross. We see that the blue is crossing over and leaving this green zone. That means you can DCA, you can be more active, and you can say, hey, I need to start paying attention to this coin because it's crossing above, the blue is crossing above the red. These are the default colors. I haven't changed that, so that's what yours is going to look like as well. And the strength index, like I said, is the RSI crossing above the median. Yes, it is crossing above the median, above the 50. So we know this is going to be a strong move that's coming. And same with this. It wants to go up. And what happens? We look at FET. Boom. It did this. You can see that the strength popped really high. Let's measure that move. We're going to use the ruler tool to see how big that was. That move. Whoa. Close to 2,000 fucking %. And we got that by looking at this. That already is pretty exciting because we saw that price is accumulating. We saw that price wanted to go up. We got the signal because we had two of our boxes checked, and I want to show you this major support zone one in a different video because that's going to tie into fib levels, which I fucking think you absolutely have to know what fib levels are. That, as a crypto trader, will be your bread and butter for levels, identifying key levels to buy on and key levels to sell. In confluence, of course, with our two indicators. These are the only two you need. If you see someone on YouTube saying, oh, you need this, you need to use this, and their charts are fucking insane with lines that looks like they're doing some sort of like, you know, summoning of demons or some sort of like, I don't know, like it looks crazy. Like you don't need that. The simplicity of being an investor is you don't need that much data. All you need is to know the direction and the strength, and it's very, very fucking reliable on the weekly time frame, this strategy. It's very, very powerful. Okay, so we have two of our boxes checked. We've crossed over the yellow median, signifying strength is coming in. We've identified this, and we're above the 50 line. And like I said, almost 2,000%. And how do we know what the top is? That's what the red zone is for. And the opposite applies for the green. When we cross the blue crosses the red, that's good. But when the red crosses the blue, that's bearish. And it does like to hover. It likes to hover here. It's not necessarily, you know, it crossed over, but we're not in the red yet. We're not out of the red. It's only once we leave the red that it means, okay, start paying attention. Because you can see here, we've also lost strength because we're below the median, right? We're also leaving the red. We've crossed over, we've identified the crossover, but we're also leaving the red zone, which is about around 80. 80 to 70, I like the 70 as well for the high time frame strategy, which is on the weekly. You can adjust that here, but I don't mind. I memorized it. I know where it is on the chart. I can tell, or on the indicator. You can adjust it by clicking on Stochastic RSI, the gear icon, and changing the 80 to 70 and the 20 to a 30. Oh, what? To 30. Click OK. So you can see that's lines up with my green box and my red box. Okay, so once that crosses below the 70 and that crosses below the median, and that the price action looks like it's starting to weaken, that's your signal for a top. This is a weekly. This is very important, like a very important strategy for people that don't want to trade but need to know an exit, need to identify tops of a bull market. So yeah, look what happens once we lose that. Price starts going downwards. That already, I can end this video right there, and that's all you need to know for identifying tops and buying bottoms. But I want to give more examples just to show that this one example isn't cherry picked. I didn't pick this one example. I want to show more that it will work a lot of the time. It might give you false signals, but the false signals, you can kind of detect them because, like I said, a checklist. You won't check all the boxes. You might check 2 of them, so you won't have confidence in that move, but it'll start saying, pay attention, pay attention. Okay? So we're going to keep going. We'll identify another move. I'm going to just talk about what it's doing and what it's telling me. I'm thinking out loud, basically. Okay. So we're still in the buy zone, potential buy zone, but we don't have our other indicator giving us another checkbox. So we're not buying, but we can DCA. So the strategy you can do is constantly DCA in the green box, but DCA heavier once you get your signal. Once you get your checkboxes all ticked off, because that means a move is about to come and you're optimizing your money. You're optimizing your capital so that it does more for you rather than just willy-nilly entering and just DCAing. You want to get the best return for your capital, and you do that by doing this. So we're going to identify another area, another point where we could start heavily DCAing in. We're going. We haven't crossed yet, but it's saying, hey, pay attention. I'm touching the 50 and the median, and I'm going slightly upwards here. Okay, things are looking okay. Things are looking good with that as well. Okay, blue's crossing over. We got that crossover here, and you can see the price is going up. See how it identifies all that? It gives you so much information with just 2 indicators. That's how simple this strategy is. We're getting across above, but our momentum, our strength doesn't look convincing. It's above the 50. This is right there. What this is telling me is like, pay attention to me. I'm trying to do something. I want to go up. My price is going up, but I don't know if I'm that strong yet. But start paying attention to me. There you go. See? That's what this is telling us. Strength is coming in. I paid attention to you, and what did I get? I got this here. I got all that signal from one of the drawing tools I like to use to identify things when I'm trying to give examples, or for myself personally, is I use this tool. This is the moment that I would have DCA'd heavy into. Meanwhile, this whole time I'm down here at the bottom, I'm pointing at the screen with my finger like you can see. All this time down here means the direction we've kind of hit a bottom here, right? And same with this. This is going upwards, meaning strength wants to come in. Something's about to happen. Pay attention to me. That's what it's telling you. And then look what it did. Boom, 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 boom. Strength came in. Direction agreed that we want to go up. Price went up. So another one. Start from this point because this is where we would have entered. Or DCA'd even more. I'm talking like a trade. I'm sorry. But the same thing applies to an investor. This is the point that you would agree, like, okay, I believe that this move wants to start doing something. I'm going to start DCAing a little heavier. This next candle, these candles are days or weeks, sorry. I'm going to say sorry a lot because I'm fucking Canadian. Sorry about that. Not sorry. So this move here DCAing this whole time, you would have netted another 267% with the data that we have, that we got. And that would have been 70 days. 278, not too shabby for looking at this really consistent strategy. Okay? And it's just 2 indicators. You don't need all those crazy ones. And I'm not explaining the whole strategy. I'm just explaining right now in this video how to read these 2 indicators. Okay? So we got that, and now we're going to identify a top. Whoa, look at that. Boom. We're not at a top yet because we haven't lost strength. Our strength is still going up. Price is going up. We're at the top. We haven't crossed over and went below this yet. Below the 70, or we haven't left the red box. Okay? So we're seeing some weakness. How do we know that we're getting weak? Right here. Strength started going down. We saw the turnover, and then the next candle printed a lower candle, a candle that's going on the down. What's the next day show us? See? With this data here, we saw the crossover means, what is it telling us? Start paying attention to me, pay attention to me. I want to break down. I'm losing strength. I don't know if I can hold this momentum anymore. That's what it's showing with this candle. It shows a red day. That means it couldn't get past it. And I'll talk about candlesticks now. So a candlestick is the price action that happened within that trading period, which is 1 week. So the bottom of the candle opens at the previous close. So you can see here, let me zoom in, how this closed right here. It opened, and then what this means is price went up to here and closed there, the full body. But what does the wick mean? It means the price went up to this high, which is 1.19 during that week, but it couldn't sustain it. So it went back down. Same thing here. The gray candle means it opened, but it closed below the previous open. And the same thing with that wick. What does that mean? Price tried to go that high, but it couldn't keep it there. And the same thing with a wick to the bottom. Price went that low, but it got bought up. And on the weekly, what matters the most are the candle body closes. You can ignore these things for now. That's just noise. What you want to know are weekly closes. That's more important. Okay, so back to the example. We see that it's weakening. Maybe that's where you should take profits on this move. That's how you identify a top. Losing strength, crossing over, but we haven't left the 70 yet. You know, you might not identify the exact top. That's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to keep most of our gains. We're trying to identify reversals. We're trying to identify zones of take profit. But we do see that we made a higher high here. What's the danger of this though? The strength for the previous move was higher, was lower actually. Strength was higher, but we made a higher body close, which what I said is important, right? And what does this mean? That's an example of divergence. Price goes higher, but the indicators show something else. So the story that this is telling you is strength is diminishing, but the move went higher, meaning this move here is losing strength. And that's why we can believe that this might be the top. This move will go lower. I have a chart here for divergence, and the example here, price made a higher high, strength made a lower high. That's bearish divergence, and that's strong bearish divergence. See the price here made a higher high, the same as our example. The oscillator, which is the strength, stochastic RSI or the RSI, made a lower high. Lower high, higher high, lower high, higher high. That means this move, you can already see the weakness in the move. It got sold into very, very strongly. That's a very big wick. If the wick is bigger than the body, that means there's major selling pressure and it's losing strength. And we can already see that in this chart. There's many different types of divergence, but in this example, we're looking at this one, the bearish divergence. You can take a screenshot of this, or the URL is at the top if you want to copy that, but you can screenshot it as well. Probably easier. We're identifying some strong bearish divergence right now. And we can see that it's going to keel over. I'm pretty confident. Oh. We're almost crossing below. We're almost breaking below that median. What's going to happen is saying, pay attention to me, I'm touching the median. Pay attention to me, I'm crossing below. What's the move that's going to happen? Again, showing divergence. I don't know if I believe this move to be a higher high because we're below. We are below this. We are almost breaking below the median, but again, lots of selling pressure. Look at all those wicks. Price can't stay there. It doesn't. It's not. The bears are not letting it. So we've identified a good place to take profit because we can see lots of selling pressure. Add to the fucking bear pressure right there because everyone else is. You want to do what the majority is doing. Betting against momentum, you're going to get wrecked. Especially on the high time frame, going with momentum, which is lots of selling pressure in this block, that's very crucial to keep your capital. And you don't want to buy highs. Come on, like that's crazy. And you can see if I move this, we're below the median now. We're down, we're going down. That's what this is showing. We're below 70. We've crossed over. We have the opposite of our checklist. RSI is crossing below median. Stochastic is below the 70. And we've hit resistance here. Again, this video is only just for the indicators. I will put everything together, the whole strategy together, but this is just how to read the two indicators which we use for this strategy. See how we're price can't really break that resistance. We can tell because the selling pressure, strength is diminishing, the direction wants to go down. That's a very sharp decline down. See, now we're making another a downtrend here. We're losing strength. We're below the 50. That means, okay, chill. This is a red week or gray week. See how simple that was? Look at, like, we're going downwards now. Now we're climbing back up. Price is below 50 and it's saying, I'm trying to do something here. My strength might be coming back. And price, you can see, it's consolidating. But what's it going to do? We got one indicator telling us I'm trying to I'm trying to go up while the strength isn't there. So I don't believe this move. I don't believe this as being a time to be buying or DCAing heavily. You can DCA still, like I said, but the whole strategy is to be able to know when to DCA heavier into alts or Bitcoin or whatever you're trying to trade or invest in. Again, seeing we're in the green box, meaning I'm not climbing yet, but I'm close to a bottom. I'm not strong enough to make the price go higher. Again, we're still down below. Nothing good is happening. You can DCA, but you don't have to go heavy. And you don't have to DCA. You can, based on macro news, based on whatever's happening in the news, you can DCA even if it's like this. But it really depends on the news. But I wouldn't. I'm not going to. Because I don't think it's a time to. You'll get better at it as well. The more you practice this, the more you'll be able to decide, is now a time to go heavy? Is now a time to DCA at all? Or should I be taking profits? Alright. So we've identified the top. See how powerful that was? That was so simple. Just by looking at two simple indicators. Minus, you don't need all those fancy indicators. You could probably do the strategy with a MACD as well, but this one I found to be the most simplest that works for high time frames on the weekly. Very simple. You don't need to know too much about trading or charting. All you got to look at is, am I dropping below? 4 steps. 4 fucking simple steps. Even though 4 is not there and number 3 we haven't talked about yet, I'm just talking about number 1 and number 2. Alright, let's keep going. Let's see what else is happening. Alright, we can see that the blue crossed over, but we haven't left the 30 zone yet. We haven't left the green box. But what does our strength index tell us? Pay attention to me. I might be crossing the median soon. I might gain some strength to the upside. And this is telling me I want to go up. Price is at a support, which is obvious. I don't have to tell you that. Okay. Price wants to make a move. It's not quite yet there. Not quite there yet. Rejected. If you double click, you can see. Oh, it's not rejected. It's trying. It's saying, what is it telling you? Pay attention to me. I might gain some strength. I might surprise you. Boom. Price wants to go up. We're paying attention right now. We're DCAing. We're DCAing. We're not too heavy yet because we don't have the strength completely there yet. Okay. This is looking good, guys. We got that we got that blue candle, the bullish candle. We crossed and left the buy zone or the green zone. We've got the strength. You can DCA a little heavier. But once we get to the red, chill. Are we going to get to the red? Okay, we got to the red, but what does our strength look like? It doesn't look convincing. Okay? We're above the median, yeah, but we're not above 50, and you can tell the way it looks. You have to interpret that as, I am not that strong yet. Because it didn't get this strong upwards shot like this. See how sharp that was? It hovered and then boom, it popped up. And then what did that show? This big strong move up here. Same with this. It didn't do any willy-nilly at here, just at that where it wanted to cross up, price went up, it shot straight up. This right here shows me it's uncertain. It's not that strong yet. And we're above, we're at the top, so I wouldn't be buying here. Oh, see? Boom. We got a red. And we got that crossover, and strength wasn't there. I'm gonna get some water. I'm fucking thirsty. Hold on. Alright. The reason I'm thirsty is because I recorded this video twice already without pressing record. Ha! What a tool. Alright. Back to this example. We're extending these just to make it visually easy to follow along. We got the crossover. We're crossing below the 70. We're touching the median. And price doesn't look like it wants to go high yet. It's doing a retest. We want confidence in buying though. See, price is still going down. We could DCA here. We did, but now we're chilling. We're not going as heavy because our checklist. We don't have the boxes for the checklist. We haven't ticked anything off our checklist yet. It's rather the opposite of our checklist. Meaning, hold on, chill. Just protect your capital. Okay, we're going to look for another sign. Now we made a lower low. I want to draw a trend line there, but I don't want to do that yet because we're not. I'm not talking about that. This is really just for the two indicators. Just by looking at these two, even ignoring price, you can already be pretty profitable. You can. It won't be as accurate, but it's still pretty goddamn accurate if just by looking at those examples. All right. We're at the bottom. We're at the bottom. Price is going down. See how we identified this right area here? Just by looking at this, crossing here, and crossing below the median, that was our top. And we saw the divergence telling us, okay, this higher high isn't convincing. This higher high is a false move. And we could see that that was true because there was so much selling pressure here. And what happened after? We hit a downtrend. Another downtrend. Okay. Now we're gonna keep chilling. We're just DCAing. We're just DCAing. No reason to go heavy yet. DCA. Okay. Start paying attention to me. Why? Median and the RSI is touching each other. You can see that this wants to go up, but we're not there yet because we haven't broken that yet, and we don't know how strong this move is going to be because we're below the 50 and just breaking through the median. Right now, what's it telling us? Pay attention to me. 1, 2, 3. Because price is on a low and it's on an obvious support level, right? Very obvious. Okay. Alright. We got our signal here. We're above the strength, the median. Despite it being below the 50, what's it telling us? Pay attention to me. DCA, DCA. We don't have convincing indicators, data telling us that this is a strong buy. Even though it's going up, price hasn't done much because the strength is weak. Right? We're above the median, but we haven't shot up. It's basically challenging the median, saying, I want to go higher, but I don't have that strength yet. Despite it saying it's going up, this doesn't show how strong the move is. It just shows the direction. Even if it doesn't look like it there, it is going up on smaller time frames. So we're going, see, we lost the direction. Now we're going back down, and the strength is still not there yet. Still no strength. Okay, this is getting interesting. We're gaining strength here. Looks like we're gaining strength. We got a blue candle. Blue candle. But, remember this, check boxes. What does the stochastic RSI look like? It's in no man's land. It's in the middle. So we're ignoring this for now. But we're paying attention. Why? Because one of them is saying, I might be getting strength. So the time you pay attention is when one tells you something, and then you're going to look for the other one to try and tell you the same story. I want to go higher. This one is, I'm already too high. My direction wants to go down soon. That's what that's telling you. This candle is telling you I'm trying to go higher. Price is trying to go higher. And that's what I mean by confluence. You have to have all three agreeing with each other, and potentially a fourth. If you get a fourth, then you're cooking. Okay. Where I'm looking at this with my eyes right now, I'm ignoring everything else, because not that you have to, but just for this example, because I want to talk about when it gets to the top, and I want to show you what this strength index looks like if we get to the top. Nope. Okay. It's looking like it's struggling to make a high, like to move higher, and strength isn't there yet. It's just like there's nothing happening with this right now. All right. So now it's like I'm trying to go higher, but there's nothing pushing me higher. No strength backing me. And you can see that reflecting here. Keep going, keep going. Boom. That signified a downtrend or a downwards move, but it's not going to be that strong because we weren't at the top. The top means oversold. Bottom, we're almost over. That's overbought. Sorry, we're almost oversold here because we're so low below the 50 that it can only go down so much more. That means something should be coming soon, or the next move should be something more bullish, I guess, than what we have here, because this directional indicator is going to the bottom. Strength is weak as fuck. These are the things you want to see, that sharpness of any type of indicator, especially the strength. That's like, wow. All right. Okay, so we crossed above from the green, which is good, and we got that little peak above in our strength. Pay attention to me. We got the blue candle. 3, and we're on support. 3 of our 4 check boxes are ticked. What's the next thing going to happen? Oh, we got some volatility, but we got rejected from the 50. You can see that there, that sharp decline. And price, you can see it didn't completely make a convincing move like these smooth ones straight up. Smooth straight up. This you can see was, you can even see that in the price. And that's already happening here. It's not there yet because we see the strength telling us, I'm not there yet, I'm trying. And this is, I tried to go higher, but I couldn't quite successfully do it. No man's land. No man's land. We don't have that on our tick boxes. Below the 50, still no man's land. You can still DCA, but not heavy. Alright, now you can start paying attention. Alright, so you're DCAing. Sometimes, like I said, you might miss it, and it might come later, but this example... How do I go back here? Yeah, that might have been good, actually. You could have been DCAing, because you were still over the median. You're over the median. That's paying attention to me. Pay attention to me. We haven't broken down, so that, you know, that was my mistake. I would have made that mistake, but in retrospect, now that we're looking at it, we're above the yellow median, and that's what matters, especially on the weekly. Because I'm so used to looking at lower time frames, and when you look at this on lower time frames, it's different. It's different in a sense that there's more noise. That this little rejection here would have been my exit, but on higher time frames, you're allowed to have a little more deviance in it because it's a weekly candle, and the higher you go in time frame, the less noise there is. So this would have been the good place to DCA right here. because we got that sharp strength, that sharp shoot up. That's what we want to see. Sharp, sharp. Price looking good. And this already here should have been good for knowing we made a higher high and we touched the 50. Despite being rejected, we made a higher high. Our momentum is looking good. Now we're going to identify our exit. Whoa. See that? That's what we want. This type of strength. That reflects here. And see how it went up and it hovers here for a while. It can hang out in here and do something like this for a while. But look at that moved upwards. It hovered in here and it crossed over a few times, but it didn't leave that zone. Once it leaves that zone, that's when you identify your top. Okay? Once it, well, that's one indicator, that's one part of the whole strategy. You also have to, like I said, have your strength cross below the median, and that's when you start losing the strength and losing your trend. We'll keep going. Okay, we see that crossover and we saw that big rejection and we see the strength diminishing. That's starting to pay attention to, okay, I might scale out here. I might DCA or dollar cost sell, DCS, if you will, in this area. We're crossing over, but we haven't crossed below this yet. So this, I'd still be in it. I'll tell you when I would exit. We'll get there. Strength is still looking good. Actually, not anymore. We can see that we're going down, and we have a lot of selling pressure because we have 3 weeks full of wicks saying that I tried to go higher this week, but I couldn't. I tried to go higher this next week, I couldn't. 3 weeks of sell pressure is a good indicator that you've hit a top. And this, you can see the direction's almost getting down to here, but we're not there yet, so we're not positive. But we can see the strength is diminishing, and we're almost going to be testing the median. Once we test it, okay. If you zoom in, we've broken below it. That means, what does it mean? Pay attention to me. And we see that candle, and we broke through that red zone. We crossed over, but what happens? We want to see it go here, and we want to see this sharply decline. There you go. Okay. So this is interesting here. Our strength is still above median. We are keeling over almost in the 70. But what is this telling you? What decisions are you making in this area? You're not buying. You're just chilling here. Because you've already gone up from this point here where we identified this sharp incline right here. You've gone up 500% in 3 months. You know, that's good. You might have gotten 718 if you sold that top, but we didn't have that signal. You know, we didn't have that signal for the top. You can't be greedy. You have to stick to the system. The system is, we got to look at the strength up here. We got to look at the direction and price action with support and resistance. And the reason why this might have been like a little harder to see right now, because I'm not using fibs right now, which I want to show you later, or support levels. And that's another level of confluence, which gives you even more confidence as to when to exit, when to add to DCA heavier. So what does the next week print us? Oh, we got rejected here again. Even though it looked bullish, strength is diminishing. Strength is not keeping up with the party. We're still keeling over, even though it looks like strength wants to go up. We're in the no buy zone, and like I said, we've already gone up 500%. Okay, we've crossed below. We're printing a bearish candle. Our strength is breaking below. We might identify some more divergence like we did before. Oh, see, price breaking below. Price doesn't look that good, and when I draw trend lines, it'll show it even more, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm focusing on what this shows you. Strength is below the median, but we're above the 50, so there is still maybe that, you know, one leg up, but we can't buy because we're in no man's land. We're not in our investment zone. We'll call this the investment zone, the green area. Text. Color it white. 18 to the center to the right. Investment zone. Okay. And we'll call this one potential top TP zones. Zone. To the right. Okay. Makes it a lot easier to know what the fuck's happening with this shit. Alright. How long has this been going? 45 minutes. Fuck, so much for making this one short. But I want to show, I just want to give so many examples as to this. This is really important. This is the bread and butter of the strategy. These two indicators. Okay. So we're back in the investment zone area. But our strength isn't there yet. So we're not buying. We're DCAing. We're not buying heavy. And why are we not buying heavy? Because we have no signals to tell us to do so. Our strength is going down. Strength is leaving. Strength is leaving. See, it's going downwards. More examples coming up soon. Alright. More weeks go by. Price is just bleeding. Alright, look. Now we start paying attention again. 50. We're touching the median. Price looks like it wants to go up. And when I mean DCA, heavier and smaller, it can be dynamic. You can DCA and scale in high, like every week, bigger and bigger and bigger position or amounts. Or you can just do set amounts like 10%, 20%, 10%, 20%. It really doesn't matter. It's up to you. But what I'm trying to give you is the tool to know when to make those decisions. The median's going down, but strength wants to try and challenge it and say, "Hey, I want to be stronger. I want to be the best person I can be." No, I'm kidding. I want to be. I want to pop up higher through the median. I want to show some strength. I want to go higher. Right now, this isn't sharp. This is a weak upwards direction. Very weak. We want that sharpness, and we don't have the strength to make that sharpness happen. But I think it's going to come soon because we're on a downtrend, and what goes down must go up. Well, not really, but in this case, it's FET. We still don't have the strength or the direction because we don't have any strength. If you look at it, we got rejected. It doesn't want to there's no power in it yet. See, we've left the investment zone. There's no reason to be DCAing heavy into this. Okay, pay attention. We didn't get it, even though it looked like it was trying, but it might come soon because we're flirting with the 50 and the median. We're above the median, but we're not in the investment zone. And what does that mean again? It means that we still have more time to go down than up. You don't want to buy in no man's land. You might miss it sometimes, but the fact that you're constantly DCAing means you haven't missed it, right? You've just missed the opportunities to go a little heavier. And that's the whole point of investing, is just to DCA, but to know when to optimize your capital. You have times to add a little heavier. You have times to just DCA like smaller amounts. You're not trading, you're investing. Rejected. Strength is weak, but it's trying. Keeled over. See, we couldn't, like, even if strength showed it was coming, like, the move up was almost over and it didn't make it. Oh, interesting now. Interesting. Okay. See, these are one of the examples you will miss it. But you'd rather be safe than, you know, experience this. You don't want that. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. Strength is coming in. We're in the potential TP zone. We've crossed up. I'm not adding to this. Again, what are we looking at? Divergence. Divergence. Candle closes, right? Body closes on high time frame. This high was higher than this high on the RSI. And what is that? Bearish divergence. This one again. Let's see if we're right. And it's showing that we're at a potential top of this move and price is keeling over. When did that happen? Let's go back. Right about here. So the divergence was erased. And like I said, you're not going to always get it right, but the fact that you're investing and always DCAing will give you skin in the game still. But you didn't get to optimize your capital. But the fact that you were DCAing means you're still in the game and you're still safe, right? You didn't buy this. You might have missed a bit, but this is an investment. This is a year, 2-year outlook. The fact that you missed 1 week in that 2 years, that doesn't matter.
5, 4, 3,
Music might be a little too loud.
You are tuned in to David Deere and the
Okay. So that divergence looks like it got erased.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into Scorching Radio. Hold on, everybody. I know you're gonna dig this. The best
No man's land.
hybrid trance.
You're buying tops.
To Scorching Radio.
Even though the strength, like I said, the divergence, we don't know yet if this is going to be full divergence, but it's showing divergence. But we haven't identified the top yet. Okay, there. That's the point that you would get faked out. And that happens all the time. You're not going to be 100% right in any type of investment or trade. And these are one of the examples. So it's always important to show good examples and bad examples, or an example where it doesn't work. And this is one of them, right? Because we were faked out, and that happens all the time, like I said. Every strategy is not 100%, but there is high probability in strategies, which gives you better chances, and that's what you're looking for, better chances rather than positivity, because there's then like a definite, there is no certainty in any of these markets, in any market, right? But you're looking, like, the obvious thing is, I haven't talked about support and resistance yet, but when you look at this, that looks like resistance, and that would have told me that I'm at the top of this move. But we never know what the fuck is going to happen with crypto, right? And this looks like divergence because that looks like a top. But oh, that changed. But are we still higher? No, not yet. See, this looks like a top to me, right? You better be. It's better to be safe than waste your capital and be like, fuck, I bought at the top. See that little fake out back there? Right here. Yeah, this might be a little too loud again. See, that looks like a rejection of a top, and it's keeling over. But, like I said, it likes to hover at the top for a while sometimes, right? And there's nothing telling us that, you know, we are at the top, but it looks like the top because this is keeling over, but we're not below the median yet, right? We're crossing over here, but we haven't crossed over this. But this is telling us, be careful. Danger zone, potential top TP zone. That would have been convincing. But again, like I said, it's still showing divergence because we haven't made that higher high on the RSI, the strength index, but we're being safe. We're still not below that. Now we're getting interesting. Strength is trying to make that higher point here. And then we got that. We got lots of volume. We got, oh yeah, volume too. See, this is where you can also tell that we hit a top here. No volume backing it. And you can see that the strength here, volume started tapering down. Again, I'll show that later in the tie-up video. Okay. So lots of selling pressure. We don't see it yet there though. We're at the top. Still not a buy for me, but what right now we're identifying an exit. Did we print that higher high here? We're equal. Okay, we made that higher high. Oh no, now we didn't. This is another probably fake out move. Yeah, it was. So the divergence was real after all. Because it's an equal top. Higher high, equal top. And let's see what happens. And then I'll show you something else on the divergence chart. Oh, interesting. Look at that, investment entry below. Right about here would have been maybe good to DCA. Right this point right here. Because we're above the 50. And the skill in understanding the strategy is knowing when you're above the 50 and below the median, what does this tell you and what does this tell you? You got to kind of translate that. You got to interpret it in a way that'll be like, okay, I have 2 out of 3 check boxes, but what are the other things telling me? What is the story it's telling me? We're on support, we broke out, and that's what a retest is. Retesting support. Boom. Strength is there, we're below median, but we're above 50. We were in the investment zone, crossed up. You could go, you would go, and like the reason why it's hard to explain right now is because I haven't showed you the support and resistance. We're just focusing on this, and I will go back to it to explain a little more in detail. But like I said, we're just learning how this works, how these indicators work. Strength is coming back in, but types of divergence: oscillator, weak. It's bearish divergence, but it's weak, meaning there is still a chance. This is the one that we're looking at. Okay. Now we've erased that divergence. Holy fuck. We've erased that divergence. Now we can count that as bullish because, wow, that investment would have been nice here. Right there. See the power of that? You might have missed a, like, okay, let me add this here. Where is that shit? This is where you would have DCA'd heavier. You would have missed 35%, but what did you gain by looking at these indicators with this strategy? 100%. Because we saw that we crossed over here, we were on a support level, and we crossed the median very fucking sharply, and we erased the divergence. Divergence can show up, but it can also be erased by gaining more strength. And you won't know till you actually see it, till it happens. You know, that's one thing that you know, it happens with all strategies. Divergence sometimes happens, sometimes it gets erased. But it's something to be like, I got to start paying attention. That's the number one thing for indicators. It's to say, hey, pay attention. It's not to say, hey, this is what is exactly going to happen. It means pay attention. Okay, we've potentially maybe, we haven't overexhausted. We're still climbing. We haven't seen it keel over yet. We haven't seen any crosses below the 70. Damn, bro. Okay, some weakness showing. We're at the top at the move. It looks like we're at the top. And what have we done so far? From the bottom, or from this candle, remember? This candle here, that's where we entered. Right now, 260% profit. In how long? How many days? In 1 month. Holy fuck. That's a lot as an investor. Like I said, you don't have to take profits here, but the better you get at reading these, then you can confidently take profits and then put them back in on the next investment zone entry. All right. Showing weakness, we can see that the strength is coming down. We're crossing over, but we haven't crossed down yet. We haven't crossed below yet. So what does this tell you? Pay attention. Okay. We're still in the potential TP zone, meaning you don't buy here because we bought here. And even DCAing, you could just chill on DCAing for now because just enjoy your profits. It's done. What the fuck has it done right now? It's done 320%. You can just chill. Just chill. Take some profits. Wait till it comes back. Wait till it comes back in the investment zone. Okay, things are looking interesting. We're losing strength. We're touching the median. We're about to keel over, but we haven't yet. And we can see price is actually showing signs of weakness. We have lots of wicks, lots of selling pressure up here. Oh, damn. See that? We've identified the top. See how powerful that is? And that's also some divergence right here too, on the high time frame. If you zoom into the daily, you'll see it. Oh, there. Oh, I wish I showed you guys that sooner. Divergence. Strong divergence. Higher, high, lower, high on the strength. And I'll be going over that some more later to zoom into the daily when you're on the weekly, because that's how you snipe your entries. That's how you see some things that aren't there yet. Like, if we're at the top, then you zoom in to look in a little closer, like a microscope. Same strategies apply. Investment zone areas, respect. You can see how it hovers there for a bit, but we've showed that we're making some strong bearish divergence. Very strong. And we already saw what happened, but we're crossing below the median. We're going to go back to the weekly because we're investors. Right now, we've lost the strength. Price is about to break the low. We're keeling over. And what does that look like on the daily? We've already lost and we're going below the median. We're going to touch the 50. We're in the investment zone, but we're not quite there at a reason to buy, right? We're showing divergence. That's bearish. We're not crossing over yet. Strength is diminishing. And on the chart time frame that we're looking at, that's a pretty fucking big move that needs to chill, right? And then you get that happening. Lost the strength, lost the median, then you see that big dip, then we see the direction wanted to go down. We're going down back to the investment zone. Now we're below the 50, below the median, and at the bottom. We're not buying yet though, because there's no reason to. Price looks like this. Strength is diminishing. We haven't crossed up yet. Still going down, still weakening. The move has lost its strength because we've also seen the divergence happen on the daily. That higher high was this. Strength wasn't there to prove that this was a legitimate move. And we saw that the direction upwards couldn't sustain it. It didn't want to go all the way up. Okay? Okay. Alright. We do see this happening though, and look, pay attention to me. That's what it's telling us. And the price action is also saying the same thing. Pay attention. We're getting that nice sharp incline, but we got rejected at the 50, meaning it's trying to gain strength, but it's not quite there yet. And you can see that that candle is a little longer. Longer than it's a bearish engulfing candle. For this strategy, you don't need to know too much about candle patterns for now. It's just, this is really the things to pay attention to. These two zones, when to buy and sell, and also the strength index. All right. We paid attention, but it didn't catch our attention. It didn't hold it. All right. When do we start paying attention again? Okay. Start paying attention. Why? Because we got a good big big blue candle. Crossing up, we haven't left yet. Crossing up strength, you can start DCAing a bit heavier. Okay, we're crossing up. We're flirting with the 50 line, but we haven't shot through it yet, so it's saying still pay attention to me. We got rejected. We got rejected. All right, pay attention to me again. It's not going to frequently happen this fast. Like from this point to this point, that is a month, right? So you're not going to be trading, or you're not going to be buying every like week or so. It's going to be once a month, twice a month, not even, maybe even once every few months. Keep going. All right, we're above the 50, above the median, and we've shot up above this. Let's go back. That's a good time to start paying attention. Pay attention. Yeah, there. Let's look at the daily. Let's see what's up. Nothing interesting that'll tell us any good, useful information. Actually, there's a head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders here. I'll probably talk about that in another video, but I want to keep it as simple as possible without having to do too much looking at the charts. I want just to make it simple by looking at it, just these two and this, the strength. Like I said, you might miss some moves, but by missing, I don't mean you're not going to make any money at all, because you know when to DCA heavy, and the moves that you do miss, those days that you did catch the DCA heavy zones, it makes up for those areas that you did miss, but you're still overall averaging a higher return than just DCAing every day, willy-nilly, randomly, right? Some days you went in heavier. Some days you're just DCAing regularly. And that's the whole point. Okay, higher high. We've crossed the 50. We're crossing into the TP zone. And we want to see that sharp incline. It wasn't quite convincing. We're testing this line here. We're in the potential TP zone, so that looks like it might be a top. It's crossing below. Let's see what's telling us on the daily chart. Nothing interesting, nothing good. But it's telling us it wants to try and go higher again. Fuck, this video is already really long. Alright, this is what we have. Right now, that's all the data on FET, but I hope you get the example. And later on, in the next videos, I'm going to show other coins as well with this strategy. And it works for every coin that has lots of data. Because it needs data to populate these indicators. Like Bitcoin will be another good one because you want to invest in Bitcoin, ETH, Solana. It works with all of them. I'll show a quick one on, let's go Solana. I'll end this video soon because I don't want it to be too long. Solana. Like, let's look at this. How did we know that this was a top? Again, very, very fucking obvious. Divergence. Divergence. That top was here. Holy shit. This one, major divergence. That's like this. Okay, look. I won't draw the boxes because I've already indicated where those zones are. But for this example, look. How did we catch this? How did we catch this move here? Right there. Right there's our strategy. Right fucking there. Holy shit. Look at that. Strength crossing over the median above the 50. Our stochastic RSI, the direction showing it wants to go up. Right there above the 30. And look at that move that you caught. 450%. Okay? I'm going to leave that there for now. Leave it as is. And I hope you understand that concept. And I will elaborate it some more on the next videos. But that's the checklist. You need to have things agreeing with what you see. You have to have things agreeing with each other to be confident in what your thesis is, right? So that was the top. That was that move, and the top right here. How do we know that was the top? We crossed below this line here. That means start paying attention to me. And then this top here, we saw was lower. That's bearish divergence, very strong, extremely strong bearish divergence because we lost the median, and then look what happened that whole way down. That's you kept your gains. That was the fucking top. That's how powerful this strategy is. Okay, let's look at this part again quickly. Above the median, above 50, crossing above this right there. That's like right here. And you caught this move. To the top, that's 759% in 168 days. With just one big entry. Right? One big DCA. That would have netted you so much money. That's how simple this strategy is. Okay? Well, I'll continue in another video, but I don't want to keep this one too long. Alright? Love y'all.